Have you ever felt like you're drowning in questions, and all you hear in return is silence? Maybe you know what it's like to lie awake at night, staring at the ceiling, wondering if anyone sees the weight pressing down on your chest. Take a slow breath. Let the air fill your lungs, even if it feels heavy. Listen, that silence wrapping around you isn't the quiet of peace. It's the thick, restless hush of uncertainty. Your mind races, searching for a sign, a whisper, anything, while all the world seems to be holding its breath with you. Maybe you're tired of waiting, tired of asking, hoping, believing, only to be met with more silence. There are days you fight just to get out of bed, to go through the motions, to keep showing up, because what else can you do? The ache is real. So is the emptiness, the confusion, the sense that maybe you're more alone than anyone realizes. You keep moving because stopping feels like surrender. Yet deep inside, you wonder how much longer you can hold on. Beneath the surface, hidden behind your eyes, is a longing for something to shift, for meaning to show up in the middle of your mess, for the silence to finally break. But what if this quiet isn't punishment? What if it's not a sign that you're forgotten or left behind? What if, just for a moment, you imagine that this emptiness is not a void, but a space being made for something new? Stay with that thought. Let linger. Maybe, just maybe, this silence isn't abandonment. Maybe it's preparation. There are days when exhaustion clings to your skin before you even open your eyes. Sometimes, it feels like you're moving through life, carrying a weight that no one else sees, one that you barely know how to describe. How long have you been holding onto this burden? Can you remember when it started? Or has it simply always been a part of you? There are moments when the silence around you is so thick that it almost feels like an accusation, as if your struggle is evidence of some hidden flaw. You wonder if maybe you've hidden your pain so well that even you have forgotten where it hurts. It's easy to believe that you're the only one who feels this tired, this uncertain, this empty. There are days when you look around and assume that everyone else has figured out how to keep going, how to keep believing, how to keep smiling. Inside, though, you might feel like you're failing at something sacred. Maybe you're familiar with that quiet shame, the one that whispers you should be stronger, or the guilt that grows when faith feels more like a memory than a present companion. Have you ever caught yourself wishing you could just let go, just for a moment, without fear of disappointing anyone? Even yourself? Sometimes you wonder if there's something wrong with you for feeling this way. You try to pray, or hope, or simply keep breathing, but the words get stuck somewhere between your chest and your throat. You wonder if anyone else has ever sat in the dark and questioned their own worth, or if everyone else's silence is comfortable, not heavy. Is it possible that even those who seem unshakable have nights when doubt curls up beside them and won't let go? Maybe you've asked yourself, more than once, if it's allowed to be this tired, this weak, this unfinished. And maybe, just maybe, you've wondered if that's where something new could begin. There's a kind of quiet that feels almost alive, like the hush before a gentle rain. Sometimes in the thickest night, a small pulse stirs beneath the earth, and no one sees the seed cracking open, roots reaching in the darkness. The world above is silent, but something is moving deep and unseen, a secret trembling of new life. Maybe the silence isn't empty after all. Maybe it's a hidden place where beginnings are soft and slow. I remember moments when I stood up, though I didn't think I could. Moments when rest found me unexpectedly, as if something kind brushed past, unnoticed. Have you ever felt comfort arrive without explanation, like a warm breath in a cold room? Sometimes, even when nothing changes on the surface, something gentle whispers stay, a flicker of calm in the middle of unrest. So subtle, I almost miss it. Perhaps the hollow ache is not just absence, but a quiet soil. Perhaps the waiting is not punishment, but preparation. There are days when light filters in, not all at once, but in careful degrees, softening the sharp edges of the morning. Even sorrow can become a place where something tender grows. I think of roots winding through unseen places, finding water in the deep. Maybe what looks like failure is just a slow unfurling, a patient gathering of strength. The smallest things begin in secret, a bud forming inside closed petals, a breath held before a new word is spoken. Even now, when I am unsure and tired, I sense a faint stirring. Not hope shouting, but hope breathing quietly. A gentle promise, not spoken, but felt, like the hush before rain or the weightless moment just before dawn. It's not resolution, but it is enough to lean toward, enough to carry me a little further, even if I do not yet see where I am going. Maybe this is not abandonment at all. Maybe this is the silence of a God who is still present, hidden in the hush, breathing quietly behind every unanswered question. What if what you call an end is actually a beginning, not a void but a womb, where the invisible work of becoming takes place away from every gaze? Perhaps you are not motionless, but being grown from the inside out, like a seed deep underground, silent, unseen, but already alive with hope. It is possible that the darkness you feel pressing in is not emptiness, but the gentle weight of being held. Maybe every pause, every breath you thought was wasted, is a quiet preparation for new roots, new strength, new clarity rising beneath the surface. This is not a failure, not fragility, but a secret place where weakness is allowed to be real, where your soul is not demanded to strive or perform, but simply to rest and receive. What if the absence you fear is actually care expressed in silence? What if the waiting is not punishment, but protection, a slow gestation, where what matters most is growing too deep for hurried eyes to see? Sometimes, it takes darkness for the smallest shoots of hope to make their way upward. Sometimes what looks like nothing is everything beginning. So maybe this is what it means to be carried quietly, to let your weakness become the place where strength is born, not by force, but by gentleness. Here, in the stillness, you're not forgotten. You're being formed. The silence is not the end of the story. It is the hidden pulse of something sacred, quietly unfolding. It is possible that you are not lost, but being found in a way only silence can teach. Maybe right now you feel a gentle relief, a weight you didn't realize you were carrying beginning to dissolve, or maybe it's just a single tear finally making its way down your face. It's possible that what you heard stirred something deep, something you can't quite explain, and that's okay. You don't have to understand everything for it to be real. Sometimes, just recognizing that a quiet shift has happened within you, no matter how small, is already an act of faith. If these words found a place in you, if something settled or softened in the silence, let yourself respond in your own way. Maybe all you need to do is whisper a simple amen in the quiet of your heart, or let your heart agree silently, as if pressing a gentle hand over your own chest and saying, "Yes, I am still here." There's no pressure to explain, to perform, or to prove anything to anyone. Just let your soul breathe for a moment. And if, right now, you're listening in secret, unsure if anyone else could possibly understand, know this: you're not alone. There are others somewhere out there, sitting quietly with the same questions, carrying the same hope that maybe the silence is not empty after all. In this hidden community, each of us is quietly reaching for the same light, even if our voices never meet. Let this be enough for now. A shared silence, a mutual longing, a gentle acknowledgement that something good can begin even in weakness. And as we stay here together, in this space between what was and what is coming, can you sense it? The atmosphere is changing. Something sacred is drawing near, quietly, just beyond the edge of your awareness, waiting to be named. Maybe now, in this quietness, you can sense what was always true. God never left your side. Even when you couldn't feel anything, even when prayers died on your lips, or you wandered so far inside your own emptiness that nothing seemed to reach you, He remained. Not as a distant judge, but as the gentle presence who sits with you when the world is too heavy, never startled by your silence, never disappointed by your tiredness. You don't have to prove anything. You don't need to find the right words or muster a faith that feels out of reach. There's no test to pass. God never asked you to be strong enough for both of you. Jesus never came for the ones who could carry it all alone, but for hearts worn thin by hope and longing, hearts just like yours. Even on the days when you thought about giving up, even then, he stayed. Not as a reward for effort, not as a prize for the worthy, but simply because love never abandons. Perhaps you can breathe a little easier now. The sacred was never far. It waited patiently, soft as a whisper, holding space for you in your weakness. This isn't about getting everything right. It's about being met exactly where you are, no matter how fragile, no matter how unfinished. And maybe, just maybe, all of this nearness, this kindness, has already been spoken before in a voice that carries through centuries. Something true enough to reach you now, exactly as you are. Something waiting to be heard, just ahead. Sometimes it feels as if our weakness is a language only silence can speak. When the heart is tired and the words are few, there's a gentle whisper that finds us in the quiet. Maybe you never realized it, but what you have lived already has a name written in ancient lines. This space where your strength ends and your exhaustion begins. This is not emptiness. This is a place already seen, already understood. My grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness. 2 Corinthians 12, verse 9. That isn't just an old promise. It's a breath that meets you right here, without asking for explanations, without demanding that you be strong. This word is not far off. It is closer than your own pulse, echoing through your questions and your longing. It sees the trembling in your hands, the heaviness in your chest, and it does not turn away. It does not wait for you to become someone else. This verse is not a lesson to master, but a gentle presence that sits with you in the weight of being human. It doesn't ask for your certainty or your grand declarations of faith. It simply fills the empty places with a quiet strength, so you can rest, even for a moment, in the truth that you are not asked to carry what you cannot bear. His grace is enough, right now, exactly as you are. Let these words be more than a verse, a shelter that receives your tiredness and transforms it, not by your effort, but by a love that refuses to leave. Even when you feel small and unfinished, you are already held. His strength is quietly alive in the places where you feel weakest, and that is enough for today. Maybe today, your prayer is simply to remain standing. Maybe all that is asked of you is to breathe, to let your heart rest in the quiet presence that holds you. Faith might look like a single exhale, a hope whispered inside, softer than words. There's no need to rush. The seed of the word grows in the dark, quietly, while you let yourself be. Let your tiredness be a part of your faith. Let your silence be a place where God draws near. You are not required to perform or to prove anything. The journey does not always begin with great leaps. Sometimes it begins with simply staying where you are, feeling what is true, trusting that even in your smallness, you are seen and loved. Perhaps the way forward is not outward, but inward. The path might be winding through your own heart, gentle movement beneath the surface. You do not have to force it open. Today, the invitation is not to do, but to stay, to allow yourself to belong quietly to the love that already surrounds you. It is enough to breathe, to let the sunlight touch your face, to notice the soft rhythm of your own pulse. The sacred is found in the ordinary, in the slow unfolding of days, in the quiet persistence of hope. Your body, your tiredness, your silent prayers. These are all part of the story being written in you. You are allowed to carry a faith that is small, that feels like a barely there ember, and to trust that even this is enough. The presence that sustains you is gentle, never demanding. Every sigh, every moment you choose to stay is a quiet act of faith. The journey has already begun within you, and you are welcome to simply be here, held and accompanied, as you are. Lord, I don't even know where to begin. Sometimes I try to find the right words, but silence feels closer to the truth. You see all that I am, my doubts, my tiredness, my empty hands, and you stay. I thought my weakness was a wall, but maybe it is just the place where you quietly come near. I'm not here to impress you, and I don't have strength to offer. I just want to be here in this simple moment, remembered by you. Teach me to trust even when I can't feel much. Let my weakness, my unfinished prayers be enough. Thank you for not letting go when I was ready to give up. Thank you for holding me without needing explanations, for loving me without requiring that I prove anything. I am learning that it's okay to rest, okay to breathe, okay to just be, that the silence isn't empty, but a place where your presence waits quietly. If faith is a seed in the dark, let it rest in my heart, unseen but alive. If I have nothing but this tiredness, let it be a small offering in your hands. I bring you my valleys and my quiet questions. I bring you my moments of barely standing, my slow breaths, my hope that flickers but won't go out. I am not strong, but you are gentle. I am not whole, but you are patient. Let my weakness be the ground for your strength, the quiet space where you plant new life. Stay with me as I am. Remind me that I am held even when I don't feel it. Let my surrender be real, not perfect. Thank you for being the presence that does not turn away, the love that waits through all my silences. Here I am, Lord, still yours, still breathing, still learning to trust that's enough. God is still with you. Even when you can't feel him, he quietly remains. Today, perhaps all you managed was to breathe, and that, in itself, is already a prayer. The seed planted in your soul will grow, gently and at its own pace, because grace does not rush or demand. You are not alone. You have never truly been alone. Here, every weakness is a place for strength to rest, and every silence is heard by a love that does not leave. If these words have found a home within you, let your heart answer with a silent amen. Like a gentle light in the dark, your simple faith matters. Maybe you wish to share this message with someone who is also walking through quiet places. A small gesture can carry hope where it is needed most. This is a space where you can always return to breathe, to rest, to remember that you are loved. If you wish to keep walking together, know that this place is yours too. In every pause, in every sigh, God's presence gently holds you. Rest now, knowing you are seen, known, and cherished. The journey continues, and you belong here.